Joining me now, former acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf. All right, Chad, thanks for being here on a Sunday. The border, the second biggest problem in the U.S. for voters, second only to inflation right now. So, Chad, why do you think that is?
Well, I think the American people have been watching this border crisis for over 3 years now, and they see the images every day, and I think they want some solutions. They want an idea and they want a proposal to how to end this and get back to some normalcy along that border. And so it's not just the illegal activity along that border, but obviously it's the illegal narcotics, it's the fentanyl, it's the illegal aliens that are here in American communities. All of it starts to add up. And I think most Americans are paying attention to this and they're saying, hey, how do we solve this? And I think that's what they want to see from both of the candidates.
How do we solve that? I mean, this is a great question. Maybe you have some ideas that we can kick around here, because every time we turn on TV and we see these images, it's devastating for many people, especially those who are living along the southern border. I mean, is there a top 5 list of solutions?
Well, I'd say there's a top 10 list, and President Biden right now has all of the authority that he needs to end the crisis. I think it's important to remember that the crisis began in 2021 after he took office, and he took 94 executive actions on immigration in the first 100 days of his administration, and those actions caused this crisis. So he has the ability to stop it, to reverse course, and to put measures and policies in place to bring the crisis to the end. He hasn't done that yet, and it's now over 3 years. So there's a number of things that can be done without Congress even lifting a finger to help, without them passing any laws. There's things that can be done now that President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas have at hand to stop the crisis.
You know, we called you today to be on TV and to talk about this. I'm wondering who else calls you in the administration. Do you have high-level calls with these people who are in charge, who can make these decisions, and what are you saying to them?
No, not from this administration. I don't receive phone calls about what to do, but I'm very vocal about it. I don't hide my opinions or the solution sets. And there's a number of things, and you just got to listen to Border Patrol agents and officers that live along that border. They know what effective security looks like, and they know what measures work, and they know what measures will disrupt the actions of the cartels. And that's really what's at play here, is how do you disrupt their actions of flooding individuals across that border illegally? You've got to end catch and release. You've got to do a number of things here that start to disrupt this model, this human trafficking model that we've seen over the last 3 years. And once you start to do that, then you start to edge away here a little bit of the crisis and what's going on. And then you've got to make incremental improvements each and every week.
You know, I was looking at some of our excellent reporting from our team talking about not only at the physical border, but the people that are coming over in boats. And it's happening, in many different places. When you see that, and there are obviously very important decisions that are being made along maritime teams that we have. When you see that part of the border control, what goes through your mind when you see some of those images? Because it is quite different from what we're seeing here on our screen.
Well, absolutely. There's always been land crossings, illegal crossings along the southwest border, either in the desert or on the river. There's always been a number of maritime crossings, particularly in California, as they come up the coast, basically, and try to get on. Obviously, we see this in the Caribbean, South Florida as well. So there's always been some measure of that. I think the numbers, though, continue to bear out. Land crossings are up, and they're up significantly. And you put that on top of the parole and the amount of the illegal aliens that are being flown in by the administration from 4 countries, from Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, and Venezuela. And then you start to add all these things up, and what you see is a pattern here of bringing individuals into the country that otherwise wouldn't have a legal right to be here. And I think that's what Americans are looking at. And they're saying a basic sense of fairness, this isn't right, and let's try to bring some solution to this. And I think that's why immigration continues to be very high amongst the American people.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.